Hey, how's it going? Happy today Wednesday. Happy Wednesday or happy hump day. Today's gonna be like a podcast-ish day where I'm just gonna read you guys some court documents. You can have me in the background if you don't usually already. And yeah, you can just listen in while you're multitasking and stuff like that. That's what I usually recommend doing anyways, unless you want to intently listen. But we have a couple court documents that I wanted to read. And remember how I was talking about what happened with the Petito and the laundry stuff? Was there any updates or anything like that? Well, I didn't see any updates on Law and Crime because that's usually where I get like my feed for things like that. But I didn't see any updates. Luckily, I did see an update today, but it was on Erica D. Baker's YouTube page. And it had a little thumbnail saying that there was a judge that denied the motions for Bertolino and Laundrie. So we're going to read that today. So thank you, EB. I appreciate that. And then before we get to that one, we're going to go to, let's see, what should I start with today? Should I start with Kohberger? Yeah, maybe we'll start with Kohberger and then we'll go over to the Petito v. Laundrie v. Bertolino stuff. Yeah, hi guys. How are you doing today? I know yesterday, or no, not yesterday. I was streaming 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I did mention that I was going to read the, let me see if I can find it. The Shabusiness arrest affidavit. I was thinking about it reading it today, but I think we'll just save it for a different day. Now, we possibly might have two trials coming up in 1 month, and they're going to be overlapping each other. We might have the Sarah Boone trial that's going to happen in July, and then the Shabusiness one as well. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly do think that the Sarah Boone one's going to be pushed. I don't know. I just have a feeling it's going to be pushed. It's already been pushed so many times, and because she was having issues, connecting with her lawyer, I don't know. I think it's going to be pushed. Hi, John Wayne. Hi, Storm. Hi, Gigi. Hello, everyone. How are you doing today? So I think we're not going to do the Shabusiness one today. I think we're going to save it for a different day. But wait, where did the file go? Let's see. I have. Did I not make it? Oh, did I forget to save it? I might have forgotten to save it. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. We're not doing it today anyways. We'll keep it for a different day. Hi, Brandon. Hi, Linda. Oh, but you know what? Before I get to any of the court documents, I just wanted to show you a little quick segment from Tug's video today, the umbrella guy. It's a very unfortunate clip of Amber Heard. And I just thought it was kind of funny. And I thought maybe you guys would think the same as well. But maybe you guys already saw the video. It came out earlier today. So I wanted to share that with you guys. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I just want to watch a little tiny small segment where I just thought it was, I don't know, it was very interesting. I didn't know that she was doing a movie, or she was doing a movie. Maybe this movie that she did back in the day or something. But let me go to Tug's video real quick. Hi, Jess. Hi, Tickety. Hello, Stark. How's it going? Oh, Rottweilers. Oh, we got little Rottweilers over there. Oh, my corgis say hi, by the way. Usually when I start streaming, they start getting really active in the background over there. But I think you might be able to see, little Steve there. Oh, by the way, yesterday, I didn't stream on Twitch, on YouTube, because I was just stuck in LA traffic for 5 hours pretty much. I had to go to LAX. There was sort of traffic on the way there. Sort of traffic on the way back, but it wasn't too bad. And then afterwards, I had to take my dogs to the vet, and we haven't found a vet near us yet. So we currently go to the vet that's really far away, but they're good though. And I don't want to switch, even though it's really far. But it was traffic to get there, and then it was omega traffic to get back. The traffic was so bad apparently that it didn't even recommend me to go on the highway. So I took the local roads all the way back, and it was I don't know. I felt like my butt was just sitting the entire time, and my legs are hurting because my calves and all that. Steve says hi. He's playing with he's got a little bone right there. But I think Steve is getting better. So my dogs for the past week, they've been having diarrhea, and we thought it was maybe related to the shots that they got, but I'm not really sure. The doctor's not really sure either. But this guy's feeling better. He finally made a solid poop yesterday. So we were so excited, and I took pictures of it. And then the other guy over there, we finally gave him some medication, so hopefully he'll make some solid poop soon, and hopefully he'll make a recovery. But I feel so bad because we usually have a routine of when we give the dog their snacks or treats and stuff like that, and they know exactly when they're supposed to get them. So when a time comes, Shiro comes up to me, he's like, "So, you gonna, there's that over there. You gotta give it to me. You gotta give it to me. I want that. I want that treat." So I feel really bad because he just looks so sad. He just so disappointed. And then they're on a diet right now, so they're not getting as much food as they usually get. So when they eat, they know that they're being scammed. But yeah, anyways, that's a quick little doggy update for you guys. Yeah, that's why I was gone yesterday. I was driving to the vet and going to LAX and all that stuff. I hate LAX so much. I hate LAX. Hi, David. How are you doing today? Hi, Jess. But yeah, I wanted to, before we read all of our court documents, or should I? No, I'll just show it to you guys now because I think it was really funny. I was watching this earlier on YouTube.
Unreal. You're talking about some posts 20 to 40. Now, what makes this even better is the promotional material for this movie, Rex A.
Did you guys hear about this movie? I had no idea that she was in a movie. It's called In the Fire. I wonder when this was filmed.
I mean, it has her calling herself a fraud. I mean, listen to this. This is actually part of the trailer they put out.
What is your lie?
No way this is real. Is this CGI? Am I being tricked right now? Hi, Cecilia. How are you doing today?
That I'm a fraud.
What would they use that for the promotional trailer? Oh, God. I don't know. I just bursted out laughing when I heard that this morning. So I just wanted to share with you guys. I thought it was funny. Anyways, hello, Ola. Hello, hi. Hello, how's it going? Oh, by the way, I saw that some of you guys joined the Discord. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to have your notifications on so you guys know when I go live as well. And I think I might change my format. So if I'm going to stream on YouTube and Twitch on the same day, I'll just make one announcement. That way you guys don't get pinged twice in one day. I think that'll be cleaner that way. That way you don't get pinged for when I go live for YouTube, and then you get pinged again when I go live for Twitch. But yeah, I think I'll just do it like one big announcement. That way I'm not like cluttering up your feed or something like that. It was funny if it was intentional. I'm just so confused. Maybe it's CGI or something. I don't know. I've never heard of this In the Fire movie with Amber Heard. They didn't mention it during the trial. They only mentioned that she was working on like Aquaman, and that's about it. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was crazy. They would use this as the promotional piece. And I don't see her being happy with that. You know, I feel like she should have reached out and be like, hey guys, like, why would you use it as a promotional piece? Cut that out. Cut it. Use a different segment. There has to be a better segment for me. But anyways, yeah, I just thought it was funny. So we're not going to do a long stream today because I do want to hop over to the Twitch stuff because I didn't stream yesterday. But today we're going to cover Kohberger, and then we're going to move on quickly to the lawsuit that's happening between Petito Schmidt family versus the Laundrie family, but also dragging in their lawyer, Steve Bertolino, as well. And starting with the Kohberger stuff, this was, when did this come out? This a couple days ago. Let's see. I think this was released like today. I don't know. All the news outlets reporting it today. Oh, there was this other thing that came out recently as well. Some unsealed court documents. Oh God, I didn't read them yet, but it's with have you guys been following the case with Harmony Montgomery? I've been loosely following the case, and it's just a really sad case. A very young girl who was living with her stepmom and dad, and she went missing. Still missing today, but you know, she's presumed dead because I think the dad, or I'm not really sure how they were able to find the details. Maybe the girlfriend is testifying against the dad or something. Maybe she struck a deal or some sort. But I hope they both rot in jail forever. I don't know. I hope they don't go lenient on her, because that is just some really fucked shit that just, I don't know. I haven't read the document yet, but it's like super sad. I listened to a court TV. They did like a summary of it, and I don't know. It was just really sad. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but essentially they were living out of their car. So you have two grown adults and a child living in a car, and the dad would get mad when Harmony would soil herself. I mean, keep in mind, you're in a fucking car. There's no goddamn bathrooms. Where else are you going to use the bathroom? I don't understand what's the logic. I don't know. Are they like crackheads or something? I don't know. Do they have like drug issues? Like, what's wrong with them? Or are they just like fucking evil people? But apparently she sold the car, and when this would happen, the dad would get really mad at her. And I guess like the most recent time that happened, like he got really mad, and he was like hitting her to the point where she ended up succumbing to her injuries and she died. But like I just don't understand like cases like this. Like, if you have a child that you don't want, give it to a family member. I don't know. Give the kid to the family member. Don't take care of the kid yourself. You know, I just don't understand like these like circumstances. Anyways, hi Doggy Deb. Hi Justin. Sorry, I wasn't even gonna talk about the Harmony Montgomery case, but it's just so sad. You've been following the case. It's been a minute since I've heard the details. Is that the one with the uncle? So there was the only thing that I heard about the uncle was that I think he may have had some clues that she was being abused or something like that. Um, and I think that he was the one that like noted that she was missing. But yeah, I've just been loosely following it, and it's just super sad because like it's just a little girl, you know. I don't understand what is up with these like monster adults who just do all these like hellacious things to fucking kids. Like I don't understand. They interviewed him. Yeah, I think like there was one that he said like he went over to the house, and I think he said he might have noticed like some bruises or something like that. But I don't know. I heard that months ago, so I don't remember. But I don't know. It's just really sad. They have the unsealed court documents. I don't know if you guys ever want to read it. Maybe I'll read it. I'll read it off stream. So if you guys are curious, I'll just read it to you guys. But I don't know. It's just like I think like 30 plus pages of just like fucking pure sadness. But anyways, other than that, how are you guys doing? How's it going? Sorry, I'm just rambling here. I didn't stream yesterday, so I feel like sometimes like all the stuff that I watched on YouTube and like I've been seeing on the news and stuff, it kind of just like pents up. And then when I see you guys, I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Okay, guys, here's everything. Because there's no one else in my life that's really interested in like the true crime stuff. So I only got you guys. But anyways, let's do. Sorry, I said it was going to be a fast stream, and I'm over here. It's been like 11 minutes already. I'm just rambling. But let's do the Kohberger stuff. So you guys, let's see. How do we summarize the Kohberger stuff? Because that's like a lot. So there's the I don't even know where to start. Bryan Kohberger right now is currently awaiting trial. He's been accused of the murders of the 4 students at the University of Utah? Because Kohberger's from Washington. I think it was Utah, right? Hold on a second. No, Idaho student murders. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. There's a lot of trial stuff that's happening. Okay, we're getting it all mixed up and all everything. But anyways, Kohberger's is accused of the murders of 4 students, and they found something pretty big at the crime scene. They found the knife sheath that was on 2 of the victims, nearby to 2 of the victims' bodies. And, you know, people are wondering if Kohberger was doing it because maybe he did it on purpose, because he kind of just want to, you know, play around with maybe the cops or something like that. Maybe he was really cocky that he wasn't going to get caught. Or, you know, like I was thinking, like, you know, even though you may have all this planned out, but when you're in the moment, it's very different than actually having it planned out in your head. When you're in the moment, there's probably a lot of adrenaline going on, nervousness, whatever the fuck it is that he's experienced. I don't know. I'm not a fucking serial killer. But it's possible that he just forgot it there, like an idiot. You know, maybe he thought he could not smell the law enforcement agents. But yeah, he's going to be on trial soon for the alleged murders of the 4 students. And we have this knife sheath here, and on the button of the knife sheath, they found a DNA. And so there is now this court document. It's a motion for protective order. And essentially what they want to do is they want to protect they did like this whole, there was like a whole behind the scenes of how they were able to link Kohberger's DNA to the DNA in the knife sheath. And maybe I'll just read it to you guys. I'm so shitty at like summarizing all this. Yeah, I read that today. They swabbed his mouth. Scary. Hey, everyone. Hey, Paul. How are you doing today? So let's just read the court document, because it's going to do a better job at summarizing it than I am right now. And also I'm really sweaty because it's hot here, and I don't know why the AC's not running. All right, guys. Oh, but you know what? Remind me though, because Court TV this morning they released a video where they actually showed the K-bar knife, and that's the knife that they believe that was used on the victims. And this knife is scary. I mean, all knives are scary, but this is a pretty big, heavy, chunky looking knife, and it looks scary. Apparently, though, even though it's they kind of labeled it as like an army knife, you could get it on Amazon. I haven't looked on Amazon yet, but Hi, Nacho. How are you doing today? Nightwolf thinks he didn't forget about the knife. He was trying to throw off the police investigation. It didn't work, though. I don't know. I think he just forgot, man. I think this guy was trying to be so careful with everything, wearing gloves and stuff like that, handling his trash, and then he forgot the knife sheath at the scene. I don't know, or he may have done it, you know, to like try to taunt the police, but I don't know. Maybe we'll find out. Hello, Glorin Dellen. How's it going? How are you doing today? Oh, you got German Sheppies? Oh, I love German Sheppies. They're so cute. Is it like a Rambo's knife? Rambo, dude. I haven't seen Rambo in so long, so I don't remember. But funny thing is, my sister, when she was a kid, she used to be scared of Rambo. So what I would do to like tease her, it was really mean though. I would run up to our TV stand, grab the VHS of Rambo, and like shove it in her face. And she would start crying. Oh God. Thank God she doesn't watch my YouTube streams. She watches my Twitch streams though. But I used to be like, ah, Rambo. And she would like start crying and stuff. So yeah. I was mean. Hello there. Hi, Sam. How are you doing today? How's it going? Hello, hello. Why don't they handcuff him right away? I mean, he's currently in custody. Best wishes to the doggies. Hope they're better soon. Oh, it's okay. We like the people who are on delay. It's all good. I did hear about that. Alex Murdaugh is being deposed in the civil case for Paul's boat crash. I did hear about that. I didn't look into it yet, though, but I saw the thumbnail on YouTube. DMing your sister in Discord. I mean, she knows, she knows what happened between us, when we were kids. But anyways, it's the parents' fault, okay? The parents are supposed to be there to be the referee between the kids, okay? My parents just let the kids have free reign of like whatever the fuck we wanted to do. So it's not my fault, okay? I was a piece of shit kid because my parents didn't put me in my place. The knife is very big. They're showing a similar one. Oh, on Court TV. Yeah, I want to show it to you guys because it's scary. I don't know. It's a pretty scary one. And then also the knife sheath, since the knife is huge, of course the knife sheath is gonna be big as well. I don't know how he forgot it, but it's a huge thing to leave behind. Anyways, comes now the state of Idaho by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and respectfully moves the court for a protective order pursuant to for information related to the investigative genetic genealogy. Is that redundant to say that? Genetic genealogy. Genealogy is a... Doesn't it just sound redundant? Genealogy, a line of descent traced continuously from an ancestor. Genetic genealogy. I don't know. That to me just sounds redundant. Maybe it's just me. Oh, they're in a book club. What book are they reading? This case arises from a quadruple homicide. Law enforcement found the DNA of a potential suspect at a crime scene, and the FBI submitted to the DNA to one or more publicly available genetic genealogy services to determine potential relatives of the suspect. The FBI then used common genealogical techniques to develop a family tree leading to the defendant. The state seeks to protect from the disclosure of the names and the public information of hundreds of innocent relatives on the family tree. So I'm assuming this is going to be the Kohberger family tree. The names of the publicly available genetic genealogy services used, and certain motion for protective order. So whatever method they use to link Kohberger to the DNA that was found on the buckle of the knife sheath, I guess that's something that they don't really want it to be available. But not just available in general, like for us, but it seems like available for the defense. So that's kind of interesting. What did I want to mention? Hold on. I did want to bring something up. Yeah, towards the knife is like a Rambo knife because it's like from the military thing. The knife is big. They were showing one. You're going to have nightmare. Well, just don't get sleep paralysis. Although sometimes I feel like I talk about sleep paralysis all the time that it might, you guys might be thinking about it so much that I might end up getting you sleep paralysis. And if I do, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I was wondering why the font for this was kind of funky. Sorry, I didn't mean to read that part. And certain other information described below. So again, they were able to find the DNA on the knife sheath. I hate that word, sheath. Knife sheath buckle, right? Now, the reason why they were able to get the DNA that was linked to Kohberger was because they went to Kohberger's family's house halfway across the U.S. was in Pennsylvania, I think. And they went through the trash. And in the trash, they were to find Kohberger's dad's DNA, and that's how they believe that whatever DNA they have currently in their possession is someone that is related to the dad. And I think they were able to say that it would be the dad was like the paternal it was like a paternal DNA. The fact that his DNA was on the knife holder snap, he went upstairs first. It would have the other's DNA if he did the kids on the second floor first transfer. On the holder snap, if it had others' DNA, what do you mean by that? I Googled the etymology of genealogy. It comes from the root word meaning generation. Oh, okay. I don't know. It just sounds redundant to me, but thank you. I appreciate that. Disclosure of this information is not required by Rule 16 of the Idaho Criminal Rules and should be protected from disclosure of the good cause described below, including the state's privilege to protect the identities of informers as described in Idaho Rule of Evidence 509. So here's the factual background. I should have just read the factual background because sometimes when I summarize these cases, because there's a lot of information, I mess it up. So I should just read the factual background. We're doing it right now. On November 13, 2022, law enforcement found the bodies of Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonzalez, Zaina Cornoodle, and Ethan, I think it's pronounced Chapin. I've been pronouncing it Chapin, but I've seen other news reporters say Chapin. So I'll go with Chapin unless it's a different pronunciation. Let me know. At 1122 King Road in Moscow, Idaho. All 4 victims died from apparent knife wounds. Law enforcement found a K-bar knife sheath on the bed next to the bodies. Oh, you know what? I know why. I'm sorry. A little bit of a digression. I know why I'm mixing up Idaho and Utah because a lot of things are happening in Utah right now. So I'm getting it all mixed up. Utah is business, right? Utah is business. And another one. Who else is Utah right now? Yeah, that's why I'm getting it all mixed up. Okay, sorry. The sheath was face down and partially under both Madison's body and the comforter on the bed. Law enforcement seized the K-bar knife sheath pursuant to a search warrant. I'm also kind of curious how come the sheath was not, I don't know, I'm assuming the sheath might have like something where you can kind of like clip it onto your belt, your pants or something like that. Like why was he just carrying it around and not like having it buckled onto him? But whatever. The Idaho State Police Lab in Meridian, Idaho located DNA. Oh, Corey Richards. Thank you. Oh, thank you guys. You guys are my reminders. Thank you. Located DNA. The Idaho State Police Lab in Meridian, Idaho located DNA on the K-bar knife sheath. The ISP laboratory determined the DNA came from a single source, and that source was male. Once law enforcement had a single source DNA from the K-bar knife sheath, they conducted what is called a short tandem repeat STR analysis. The STR DNA analysis involves looking at 20 regions within human DNA that allows law enforcement to make a direct comparison between the 2 STR DNA profiles. Law enforcement submitted the STR DNA profile obtained from the K-bar knife sheath to the Combined DNA Index System, CODIS, a database of STR DNA profiles with convicted offenders, arrestees, crime scene evidence to identify the source of DNA. No match was found. So again, it seems like I mean I don't think we had any like previous criminal records of Kohberger. So he wasn't even in the system. Let me go to court. Is this the one right here? Oh no, not this one. So this is where she brings out this right here, just so you guys can see how big it is.
More about this, and I have a prop, and I can't underscore enough just how heavy this is. I have a K-bar knife here. This is the type of weapon that was used to kill those 4 beautiful college
and I guess that's the buckle right there.
Students. This is the sheath, and it was on this.
Yeah, see right there. I don't know. I don't understand why didn't he just strap this on his belt? Okay, whatever. I don't know. Okay.
Snap of the sheath. This snap right here that was swabbed, and that's where that little bit of a DNA profile began. So that's where it all started. Now, investigators didn't know whose DNA it was on the snap. They just were able to get somebody's DNA here. And as they continued investigating, they honed in on Bryan Kohberger. That is why investigators started going through.
And then she takes it out. You guys can see
this. This is so heavy. I mean, look at this. Look how large this is. This turns my stomach. And this isn't the first time I've held this. I've held this previously in our newsroom. It's very heavy. The handle's very heavy. When you think about this being the murder weapon used, it turns your stomach. The sheer brutality of these homicides, each of those young people being stabbed multiple times.
God, and you know, like the autopsy photos are going to be crazy for the jurors to view because it's not just one autopsy photo of one victim. It's going to be 4 different victims. That's a lot for the jury to process. Oh, hey, Akira, how are you doing today? Corey Richards, is that the one that killed Dad before Father's Day? I believe it was done in March, and Father's Day is in June, right? Yeah, it happened last week. Yeah, I believe the murder happened in, the alleged murder happened in March. But she's the one that is the children's book author, wrote a book about dealing with grief for her kids. And then, yeah, about like a year after, she was arrested because they think she did it. So pretty wild one as well. Unable to find a match using SRDNA analysis, law enforcement decided to use investigative genetic genealogy to find a lead. Genetic genealogy allows individuals to trace their lineage or connect with unknown family members using DNA. Have you guys done this yet? They have services where it's like you do the DNA thing, right? I think you do like a buccal swab of your mouth, and you submit it, and then they find out like who your like family tree, your relatives are, and stuff like that. Have you guys ever done that? I always thought it was interesting, but I feel like they wouldn't have any information. I don't know. My family, they're all like in Asia and stuff. Oh, your sister did? Did she find anything interesting on that? Yeah, I remember it was weeks after Valentine's Day, because they think that she may have potentially have tried to poison him with fentanyl on Valentine's Day. And it was weeks after that they were celebrating closing on the home when really they weren't, and the home wasn't closed yet. But yeah, I think March 6th sounds about right. Typically involves sending a DNA sample using a tube of saliva to a genetic genealogy service like, Ancestry.com or 23andMe. The genetic genealogy service then creates a single nucleotide polymorphism SNP profile to use for genealogic purposes. A SNP profile is different than using the scrDNA profile and is used more often for genealogic purposes. Ooh, we're gonna have a lot of words that we're gonna be slipping on. The genetic genealogy service then uses an algorithm to compare the user's SNP profile to the SNP profile submitted to the genealogy. Can we just say GGS, genetic genealogy service? The GG service. Can I say GG, genetic genealogy? Do I have to say it this many times? Can I just say GG? Or does that sound stupid? That might sound stupid, right? The genetic genealogy service by other users to determine ancestry and potential relatives. The genetic genealogy service shares with the user a list of potential relatives and, depending on the specific genetic genealogy service, personally identifying information on those individuals, like their name, email address. Wait, really? You get information like that? Name, email address, and the amount of DNA the user shares with the potential relatives. Oh, interesting. So that's probably why they want to make sure that this information, because I'm assuming when they did the genetic genealogy service thing, it linked that DNA to a bunch of other Kohbergers and, I don't know, mom, dad side of the family, and has their personal name on there, maybe their email addresses and all the information. And they probably don't want that out to, I mean, I know the public, but why not out to the defense? That's what I didn't really understand. The user does not receive any genetic information pertaining to other databases, i.e. users' DNA profiles are not shared with each other. Okay, but you get the name, email address, and all that. Okay. This same process, used frequently by members of the public, can also be used by law enforcement as a part of their investigation, a technique referred to as investigative genetic genealogy, or IgG. Yes, thank you! Once a publicly available genetic genealogy service shows a law enforcement potential relatives of suspect, law enforcement applies traditional investigative. And wait, so that means that like if you ever submit your DNA for these genetic genealogy services, potentially law enforcement can be like, oh, yoink, yoink, yoink. Okay. So once you're in the database, you're in the database. We found out who my mom's dad. Oh, it was a family mystery. Oh, did you guys like say hi to him or anything like that? Or did you just left it alone? Your grandma knew who he was, but would not tell my mom. Oh, and took his name to her grave. My uncle got a 45-year-old daughter when my sister was matched as the cousin to this girl. One night stand in college, 44 years prior. Crazy. Wait, so did your uncle know about that? Jeez. I want to do it, but I'm also looking up online and you're finding a ton. It's a family tree who you're related to. Read the small print. Yeah, the small print's probably like, hey, by the way, once you submit your DNA, we'll be able to find your potential relatives. But you know what? If law enforcement, they might have access to this. Hi, Corgi. Hi, y'all. Hi, Adam. How are you doing today? Yes, it is controversial whether it should be allowed for law enforcement. I say yes. Fuck it. Okay. Law enforcement applies traditional investigative and genealogical methods to build a family tree in an effort to follow the tree to the suspect or a close relative of the suspect. Family trees can be used to narrow down a potential suspect. I actually had no idea law enforcement was allowed to use this. I'm sorry. I'm like kind of stuck on this. I had no idea law enforcement was allowed to use this. why would they allow law enforcement to allow to use this? Because wouldn't they, like, I get they want to help, but at the same time, it might deter people from wanting to use their services. Anyways, okay. Family tree can be used to narrow down a potential suspect based on factors such as age, gender, opportunity, known physical characteristics of a suspect, etc. In this case, investigators use IgG, investigative genetic genealogy, okay, to begin the process of developing a lead to the individual who left the DNA on the K-bar knife sheath. The Idaho State Police utilized a private laboratory to develop a S&P profile from the DNA on the K-bar knife sheath. So I think at this point, though, even though they didn't have this DNA on the knife sheath, I think they already had Kohberger as a suspect because I think based on like surveillance footage, they were able to find the white Kia Elantra. They were to find out that Kohberger drives it. They followed it to like the university that he was at. So I think they already had Kohberger as a suspect, but this kind of just really sealed it for them, I guess. The private laboratory started using genetic genealogy to develop a family tree, but after law enforcement decided the FBI would take over, the private laboratory ceased its efforts and sent the S&P profile to FBI. The FBI uploaded the S&P profile to one or more publicly available genetic genealogy services to identify possible family members of the suspect based on the shared genetic DNA data. The FBI could then view the genetic genealogy services. Oh my God, this word is going to give me a nightmare. Services portal information regarding potential relatives of the suspect who left DNA on the K-bar knife sheath. Based on the information the FBI could see the genetic genealogy services portal, the FBI went to work building a family tree of the genetic relatives of the suspect DNA left at the crime scene in an attempt to identify the contributor of the unknown DNA. The FBI built the family tree using the same tools and methods used by the members of the public who wish to learn more about their ancestors. For example, the FBI consulted social media. Ooh, they probably went on Facebook. Facebook would give you a lot of information. Okay, make your profile private, change your names up. Viewed vital records such as birth and death certificates. Viewed other information already contained in the user portal for the genetic genealogy service, including unverified information submitted by other users of the genetic genealogy service. The FBI also consulted subscription-based databases available to law enforcement for information on individual people. The product of the genealogy conducted by the FBI was a family tree that contained the name, birth date, and the death date of the suspects of hundreds of relatives, as well as their familial connections between each other and the suspect, Bryan Kohberger. The FBI, do you guys remember what his middle name is? Bryan C. Kohberger. Do we ever find out what his middle name was? The FBI then sent to local law enforcement a tip to investigate the defendant. The IgG process pointed law enforcement toward defendant, but it did not provide law enforcement with a substantive evidence of guilt. The FBI did not, for example, conduct a direct comparison between the S&P profile from the K-bar knife sheath and the defendant's S&P profile. That type of direct comparison required the more traditional STR-DNA analysis, which was conducted by the Idaho State Police, not the FBI. Prior to the FBI's IgG efforts, the ISP, Idaho State Police Laboratory, developed the traditional STR-DNA. Is it STR-DNA? STR-DNA profile from the DNA found in the K-bar knife sheath. After identification of defendant, law enforcement recovered trash from the home of the defendant's parents, and the ISP laboratory did STR-DNA analysis of items from the trash for comparison to the unknown crime scene DNA. That comparison indicated the DNA found on the trash belonged to the biological father of the individual who left the DNA on the K-bar knife sheath. Remind me again, does he have any siblings? If I remember correctly, does he have a sister? For some reason, I'm remembering that he has a sister. They confirmed with his DNA, and she looked just like us. We have the same nose, lips. Mom said my uncle met my aunt right after and didn't want to ruin his relationship. Oh, geez. Sisters, plural. I don't know. In case Kohberger has a brother out there, and he'd be like, you know what? It was my brother that did it. I don't know. It wasn't me. Okay. Pursuant to a search warrant, law enforcement then collected DNA from the defendant via buccal swab. A traditional STR-DNA comparison was done between the STR profile found on the K-bar knife sheath and the defendant's DNA. The comparison showed a statistical match. Specifically, the STR profile is at least 5.37 octillion times more likely to be seen if the defendant is the source than if the unrelated individual randomly selected from the general population is the source. The genealogy conducted by the FBI resulted in a lead that pointed. So again, they can't say that it's 100% sure that it's Kohberger's DNA, but how they have to word it is like this. Oh, it is 5.37 octillion times more likely to be seen if the defendant's a source other than an unrelated individual randomly selected from the general population source. So they can't be like, oh, it's 100% him. So that's how they have to state it. The genealogy conducted by the FBI resulted in a lead that pointed law enforcement to the defendant, but it did not result in the creation of many documents or records. Much of the information relied on by the FBI was only viewed through the user portal in the publicly available genetic genealogy services and other investigative databases. The FBI did not download or create copies of these records. Wait, what? So the genealogy conducted by FBI resulted in a lead that pointed law enforcement to the defendant. Wait, but why wouldn't they save this? Wouldn't you want to make sure you have all of your ducks in a row and all your records kept and stuff like that? The FBI did not download or create copies of these records. Why? Once the defendant was in custody, the FBI removed the S&P profile from the genetic genealogy services pursuant to the United States Department of Justice interim policy for forensic genetic genealogy DNA analysis and searching. Holy shit, that was a, that was a mouthful. This means the FBI no longer has access to view much of the information it used to create the family tree and cannot view it again without resubmitting the S&P profile to the genetic genealogy services. Wait, what? I'm so confused why, maybe to them it didn't really mean anything, but, or they just thought it was just like useless information. But I feel like you would want to track everything you do just in case. This means the FBI has no access, so they would have to submit the whole thing all over again and create the family tree all over again. Oh, God. Oh, God. Well, I can see why the state was like, hey, you know, like, motion for protective order. Please don't make us redo all this all over again. Okay, to the state's knowledge, though, the only record that reflects the FBI's efforts to create the defendant's family tree is the family tree itself. Notes jotted by the FBI agents as they constructed the family tree. Any records created to document the removal of the S&P profile from the genetic genealogy services pursuant to the DOJ policy. Okay. The state has not, nor does the state possess these records or copies of these records. Oh, okay. Argument. The state seeks a protective order for a narrow category of information, namely information related to the use of IgG in this case. Idaho Criminal Rule 16 governs discovery in criminal proceedings. Rule 16 is broad, but it's not a free-for-all. The rule contemplates the exchange of discrete categories of information between the state and the defense. It wasn't me. I hate family secrets. She felt like he owed him. What did I miss? Hi, Kay. How are you doing today? How's it going? Well, you missed this, but I'll be happy to play it again because I thought it was funny. The Umbrella Guy made a video earlier, and it's just I don't know if they're just trolling Amber Heard or what, but why would they use this as a promotional trailer?
Rex AH. I mean, it has part of
Your lie.
So confused. I don't know.
I'm a fraud.
Okay, but that's what. Okay, anyways, that and then we just got started into the Kohberger stuff. Hi, Rhiannon. How are you doing today? Probably deleted because of the controversy of whether it should be allowed and to protect the privacy of the relatives. Well, isn't that for the court to decide, though? Right? Like, I don't know. I feel like we just have all your information just in case they need it, but I don't know. I know that they had to delete it pursuant to the DOJ policy, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we were here. Sorry, now I lost my train of thought. The rule contemplates the exchange of discrete categories of information between the state and defense. As relevant here, the rule contemplates the state will provide 3 discrete categories of information, any material information that would intend to negate the guilt of the accused, any documents or objects that are material to the preparation of the witness defense, intended for use by the prosecutor as evidence at a trial, or were obtained by the defendant or belong to the defendant, and reports of scientific tests or experiments. If the defendant believes he should receive information that does not fall within one of the discrete Rule 16 categories, the rule allows the defendant to seek an order from the court for information where the defendant can use a substantial need for information and the preparation of the case. So I guess they're saying that, okay, well, Kohberger and his team, they need to prove that they need this information. Here, defendants serve, well, how would they know? Okay, never mind. Here, defendants served in the state a request for discovery that calls for the IGG information. Even though the IGG information falls outside of Rule 16 without first obtaining an order from this court, the state now seeks, and the court should enter, an order protecting the information related to the use of IGG in this case. Specifically, the state seeks to protect the following information. Again, the raw data related to the S&P profile and the underlying laboratory documentations related to the development of the profile, such as the chain of custody forms, laboratory standard operating procedures, analysis notes, etc. All information related to the IGG efforts in creating the family tree and identifying defendants' potential relatives, including the identities of the genetic genealogy services and the personally identifying information of the defendant's records. The state does not seek to protect and has or will disclose the following information. A genetic kit report from the private lab utilized by the Idaho State Police, which documented the DNA test was performed, okay? Information related to the SCR DNA analysis conducted using DNA recovered from the Kohberger knife sheath and the DNA recovered from the defendant's parents' trash, okay? Information related to the SCR DNA analysis conducted using the DNA recovered from the Kohberger knife sheath and the DNA recovered from the defendant via buccal swab. Okay, so this is like the information they're like, hey, we'll give it to the Kohbergers, Kohberger and his attorneys, but how we did it, the background story, and how we construct the family tree and stuff, yeah, we want to protect that. We don't want to give that to the defense. The court should grant an order protecting the IGG information in this case because the IGG information does not fit into any of the discrete categories listed in Rule 16, and good cause exists to protect information, including the need to protect the privacy of defendants' relatives. Okay, that's where I'm a little bit confused because it's his relatives. I get like not wanting us, the public, to have information to Kohberger's family tree and relatives because, they might, I don't know, maybe the press will go after him and ask for interviews and stuff like that. Or just, maybe people on TikTok will come up with theories about like, oh, it was Kohberger's aunt and cousins who did it. I don't know. But I guess I'm a little bit confused because they want to protect Kohberger's relatives' identity from Kohberger. That's where I'm a little confused, guys. We don't have Nightbot here. Although maybe I should bring in Nightbot here. I don't know. I have Stream Elements here, but Stream Elements doesn't do any work. Stream Elements just sucks. Hi, Jeannie. Oh, is that your new username, On the Case with Jeannie? Or was it always like that? No, you changed it, didn't you? I feel like you did. Hello. Good night. See ya, BetaBot. See ya later. Rule 16 does not require disclosure of the IGG information because the IGG information is not exculpatory. Again, exculpatory would be like evidence that would show that Kohberger is not guilty. Rule 16A of the Idaho Criminal Rules does not require the disclosure of the IGG information because the IGG information does not tend to negate the guilt or reduce the potential punishment of the defendant. The rule requires the state to disclose any material information in the prosecuting attorney's possession or control that tends to negate the guilt of the accused as the offense charge that would tend to reduce the punishment for the offense. So they're saying that like if the state has something that could potentially be helpful for the defense team, they have to disclose it no matter what. As written, this rule largely mirrors the federal Brady requirement that the state produce to a criminal defendant all material exculpatory information. But Rule 16A and Brady are limited to exculpatory information. They do not require the prosecutor to make a complete and detailed accounting to the defense of all police investigatory work on a case. What are the question of whether IGG information must be disclosed as this exculpatory is one of first impression in Idaho. Courts outside of Idaho have correctly decided that IGG information need not to be disclosed as exculpatory. Citing a case. Let's see. In Green, law enforcement used DNA recovered from the victim's nightgown to identify the defendant as a possible suspect. Then they surreptitiously, secretly, recovered items from the defendant's garbage that contained DNA and found through SCR DNA testing that the DNA in defendant's garbage matched the DNA found in the victim's nightgown. A saliva test then confirmed the defendant's DNA matched the DNA on the victim's nightgown. Defendant moved to compel the disclosure of the IGG information. After an in-camera hearing, the court denied the motion. The evidence that is material to the defendant's guilt or innocence, the testing that followed the IGG investigation, which is directly compared to fresh swab with DNA with the DNA profile from the victim's nightgown. It is only this evidence that the people intend to present at trial. People are not obligated to provide its preliminary search of the genealogy database of possible matches, which is investigatory in nature and is not exculpatory material to the defendant's defense. As the case illustrates, the state does not require to disclose the IGG information under Rule 16A because the IGG information the state seeks to protect is not favorable to the defendant on the issues of guilt or punishment. The information provided to local law enforcement by the FBI was nothing more than a tip, a lead for local law enforcement to follow up on should they choose to. The genealogical tip did provide, I need to drink this. I hate the word genealogical. From the public is more logical. There's probably some, I don't know, some legal stuff behind it that I just don't understand. But yeah, I do understand like not wanting the public to get to it, but not wanting the defense to get their hands on it. I guess I don't understand why not, but there has to be something that I don't understand. The genealogical tip did not prove or substantiate defendant's guilt. Rather, the tip allowed local law enforcement to focus their investigation on defendant and obtain independent material evidence of his guilt, all of which the state has disclosed or will disclose. Specifically, with respect to DNA, the STR DNA analysis found defendant's DNA matched the DNA collected from the Kohberger knife sheath. To the extent the IgG information has any relevance, the fact that it led law enforcement to the defendant means it is inculpatory. Inculpatory rather than exculpatory in nature. Thus, Rule 16A does not require the disclosure of IgG information because it's not relevant to and certainly not favorable to the defendant on the issues of guilt or punishment. Interesting. Yeah, so I guess what it's saying is that if it was exculpatory, something that would preclude, possibly preclude Bryan Kohberger from committing these crimes, then the state would have to provide. But the fact that it's not exculpatory and it's actually inculpatory, it shows that he probably did it. That's why we don't have to show the process leading up to it, the family tree and all that stuff. Okay, I'm kind of understanding this a little bit more. B, Rule 16B4 does not require the disclosure of the IgG information because, hi Rain, how are you doing today? Because the IgG information does not satisfy any of the required criteria. The nature of the IgG information is such that its disclosure is not required under Rule 16B4. The rule requires the disclosure of books, papers, documents, photographs, tangible objects, buildings, or places only when they, 1, are material to the preparation of the defense, 2, are intended for use by the prosecutor as evidence in trial, and so are they not using this in trial? And 3, were obtained from the defendant or belong to the defendant. The IgG information does not satisfy any of these criteria. First, the IgG information is not material to the preparation of the defense. Defendant is charged with killing 4 people, not being related to a particular person. The mere fact that it is uploading the completed S&P profile to the publicly available genetic genealogy service led law enforcement to relatives of the defendant does not affect the strength of the evidence against him. The strength of the evidence against defendant in terms of DNA evidence depends upon the confirmatory result from the STR DNA analysis. Hi, Moriah. Hi, Wayne. Hello, hello. Analysis between the defendant's DNA profile and the DNA recovered from the Kohberger knife sheath. As explained further below, the state intends to introduce the STR DNA analysis at trial and does not intend to enter any evidence pertaining to the development of the S&P profile or the family tree process for inculpatory purposes. The state has disclosed or will disclose information as related to the STR DNA analysis conducted in connection with the case. The immateriality of the IgG information to the preparation of the defense is perhaps best understood by way of analogy. The tip that came from IgG process is no different than other types of technology hits that law enforcement put on the trail of a suspect. I kind of want to read this actually. United States versus Johnson. For example, in Johnson, law enforcement recovered suspect's DNA from the ball cap left at the scene of the bank robbery. Oh no! Law enforcement ran the DNA profile through CODIS. I mean, I guess when you're like robbing a bank, you're kind of like running around and stuff like that. Maybe your cap just like flies off, maybe the wind or something like that. Which resulted in multiple hits, including the defendant. Scientists narrowed down the hits to the defendant, and the law enforcement confirmed it was the defendant's DNA after acquiring a buccal swab from the defendant. Defendant moved from compel the other CODIS hits from the government, but the court denied this motion. The court explained the DNA evidence material to the defense was like a direct comparison between the DNA on the hat and the DNA taken directly from the defendant. Oh. So the fact that, in this bank robbery case, the fact that the DNA of the hat matched the buccal swab of the defendant, they were saying like, who cares that there are other hits in the system? Your DNA matches the evidence. Interesting. So I guess that's what they're going to say for Kohberger, because they probably did a mouth swab of Kohberger and they're saying, hey, your mouth swab, the DNA from that, it matches the buckle on the knife sheath. So who cares how we constructed the family tree? Who cares how we were to link it to you? It should have wore a box instead of a ball cap. Did you guys see that? Oh, dude. some guy tried to rob, like, it looked like an iPhone store or something. And he was like, you know what? I'm gonna put this box in my head. And he was like robbing them, breaking through the glass, grabbing all the phones and stuff like that. The box just fell off his head because, the box is pretty loose. And I don't think a square really fits on a on our spherical head very well. And it just fell off and caught the face on the camera. I see a lot of Sarah Boone. I'm like, let me introduce you to this show business lady. I've heard about her. I've heard about her, but I've just, like, when you guys were telling me about her, I just remember that she attacked her lawyer, and I was like, oh, she sounds really interesting. The court explained the DNA evidence was a direct blah, blah, blah. Okay, moreover, the IgG information could not support an argument for the defendant that law enforcement violated his Fourth Amendment rights by entering the DNA collected from the K-bar knife sheath into genetic genealogy service. A defendant cannot prove a violation of Fourth Amendment without first showing he or she had a reasonable expectation of privacy in the place search. The K-bar knife sheath was abandoned at the scene, as was the DNA inside it. Defendant cannot show. Man, the K-bar knife sheath is going to be this is going to be a hard one for the defense to explain away. I don't know. How do you guys think Kohberger is going to explain this? I've already had my theories, maybe. Kohberger might be like, oh, I'm friends with the kids at that house. Yeah. Or he might be like, oh, I know someone that knows them and I've been at their house before. I've been at their house, for parties. They have parties there. I've been there before. I don't know. How is he going to explain this? What do you think? She seems sick enough to do all that. If the defense really wanted the genealogy, they could submit their own sample. I'm trying to figure out if I heard that she didn't she? Or maybe not. He's gonna stay silent. He's got to explain why the knife sheath is there. I heard he might claim he left it while buying drugs. I heard about the drug stuff, but as far as I heard, there hasn't been any credulity. Is that the word I'm looking for? Behind that. Tendency to be ready to believe that it's something is real or true. Yeah, like people were saying that, like, I don't know, there's something about like drugs, buying drugs. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't really heard too much about that. I've just heard it in passing. My client is forgetful, Your Honor. It's gonna be a major uphill battle for the defense. Yeah, the knife bar, the fucking knife sheath thing just really. Anyways, the knife sheath was abandoned at the scene, had DNA inside it. Defendant cannot show that he had a reasonable explanation of privacy and DNA left at the scene of a quadruple homicide or in the genetic information of his relatives who voluntarily provided their own DNA to the genetic genealogy services. The case setting. Second, the state does not rely on the IgG information to establish a probable cause for the defendant's arrest, did not present the IgG information to the grand jury, and has no plans to present the IgG information for a protective order is sought as evidence at trial. Yeah, because we didn't hear about this IgG information in the, it wasn't even included in the probable cause affidavit. Instead, the state has relied on and will continue to rely on the STR DNA analysis comparing defendant's DNA to the DNA on the K-bar knife sheet to establish defendant's guilt. Again, the state has disclosed or will disclose information related to the STR DNA analysis and analysis conducted in the connection with this case. Third, the document and tangible objects encompassed in the IgG information were not obtained for the defendant, and defendant has no property interest in them. To the extent the DNA on the K-bar knife sheath once belonged to the defendant, he abandoned that DNA when he left at the crime scene of a quadruple homicide. Defendant has never had a property interest in the records that reflect. You know what I wonder? Okay, so dog hair gets everywhere. I wonder if they're able to get some doggy hair. Oh no, actually, the dog is I think their dog was a mix though, right? Like a poodle mix. They don't really shed a lot, right? I know corgis shed a fuck ton. His lord will come with an excuse then. I feel like he's not going to talk that much. He used a knife for hunting. Well, I mean, like the fact that the knife sheath. Not even the knife. Like, the knife is not there. The knife is gone. It's just the knife sheath that's left at the crime scene. Because if he just left the knife there, well, it would just be like the knife and the sheath. It's like, well, who the hell just leaves just the sheath there and then actually just takes the knife out and like, what, I forgot to put the knife back in. I put the knife back into my pocket and I just left. So it's going to be hard to explain that. Defendant never had property interest in the records that reflect the S&P profile developed from the DNA on the Kohberger knife sheath, nor has he ever had a property interest in information gathered from the genetic genealogy services using the S&P profile, such as information provided to the genetic genealogy services by the defendant's relatives. In short, none of the IgG information the state seeks to protect came directly from the defendant or currently belongs to the defendant. Rule 16b-5 does not require disclosure of the IgG information because the IgG information is not a result of a scientific test or experiment. Rule 16 also requires the disclosure information related to the scientific experiments. Speaking of scientific experiments and like trial stuff, do you guys remember how they had that one expert? It was the Murdoch trial. The state had that one expert. It wasn't even an expert. It was actually just like a police. I think it was just like law enforcement guy who was explaining how he tested whether or not the screen on Maggie's phone would light up if it was thrown. And then he was being cross-examined by Murdoch's lawyers, and they're like, okay, so what did you do? He's like, I don't know, I just threw the phone around. He just threw the phone around and just recorded his data based off of that. I just thought it was really funny. I didn't think it looked good for the state, but whatever, you know. I remember that. Yeah, dude, that was so funny. He was like, yeah, I was just, sitting in my office. I threw the phone around, and the guy's like, okay, well, how many times did you throw your phone around? Like, was there like, are you an expert in this? Was there like, did you write down the data? He's like, no, just in my head. Duh. I don't know. I thought that was kind of interesting. I was a little surprised that the judge allowed that. Yeah, it wasn't even documented or anything. It was weird. Anyways, so yeah, when there are scientific reports or tests and stuff like that, experiments, they must disclose it. The rule does not require the state to disclose what law enforcement does with the results or reports. Moreover, a process, procedure, investigative technique is not a scientific test or experiment merely because it involves the comparison of information or objects or requires the use of logic or reason. There are two types of scientific tests conducted with respect to DNA that fall within the purview of Rule 16b-5. First, law enforcement used the SCR DNA analysis to compare the DNA on the knife bar sheath to the defendant's father, then to the defendant. As required by Rule 16b-5, the state has provided the reports to those scientific tests. Okay? The state has also provided other information related to the SCR DNA analyses because the state plans on using that information at trial. Second, the private laboratory developed the S&P profile from the DNA and the Kohberger knife sheath as required by Rule 16b-5. The state will produce the report that documents that DNA test. Rule 16b-5 does not require the state to disclose how the S&P profile was used, and the genealogy the FBI conducted based on the DNA information does not constitute a scientific experiment or test. The FBI submitted defendants' S&P profile to one or more genetic genealogy services and were able to view potential relatives and access unverified data added by users in the genetic genealogy services. Starting with these potential relatives, the FBI engaged in traditional genealogy to put together a family tree that could lead them to a suspect. Putting together the family tree required the FBI to review sources such as social media, publicly available databases, subscription-based databases, vital records, census records, historical newspapers. None of those actions can accurately be described as scientific test or experiment. The product of the FBI efforts was a family tree comprised of hundreds of defendants' relatives. Put simply, the family tree created by the FBI cannot accurately be described as the results or reports or scientific tests or experiments, and thus it falls outside of Rule 16b-5. Good cause exists for the court to enter an order protecting the IgG information, and if necessary, the court should hold an in-camera hearing. The fact that IgG information does not fall within Rule 16 is reason enough for this court to enter an order protecting the IgG information. But the state is not seeking. I'm still a little confused. Like, I get what they're saying, that, like, this is just all like information, all like the background behind the scenes stuff leading up to them getting the DNA and then tying Kohberger's dad and all that stuff. But like, but why wouldn't they want the defense to have access to this information? I'm confused why we're writing a 33-page motion for protective order. Like I said, if it was protecting, like, Kohberger's family's identity from the public, yeah, sure, why not? But like from his own family member, Kohberger, are they afraid that Kohberger's gonna be like, you know what? It was this family member that did it. See, I see the genetic genealogy. It's linked to this, and it's possibly it could be this cousin over here. That's what I'm a little confused about. Yeah, they haven't found the actual knife yet. That's why I'm saying it's going to be really weird for Kohberger to explain that away, or his defense team, because who leaves just a sheath behind? Unless the knife is laying around somewhere. But it's like, hey, I'm going to take the knife off and I'm going to transport it back in my pocket. I don't know. The disclosure of the IgG information risks harm not only... Okay, so this is... Okay, I want to know why. They want to protect hundreds of innocent civilians from having their personal information, including their names, birth dates, and familial connect. Unless maybe there's a family member that... I don't know. Maybe there's like some inner family drama and they don't want Kohberger to find out about his cousin. I don't know. I'm just making shit up. I have no idea. I have no idea why they wouldn't want the defense to have this. Okay. Including their names, birthdays, and familial connections to the defendant in a high-profile quadruple homicide from being disclosed. Disclosure of the IgG information risks harm not only to those indirect informants, but also to the genetic genealogy services used by the FBI and the IgG investigative technique. This court should follow the procedure laid out by Idaho's appellate courts to determine whether the IgG information must be disclosed. What if he convinced his cousin to kill people with him? But I think that they were able to determine that it was a very high chance that Kohberger's dad's DNA is the fatherly, I don't know, fatherly DNA, is that a word? Paternal DNA? Paternal DNA. Meaning that if they were to do a comparison to a cousin or something, I'm sure the numbers would drop significantly. If they say he left it during a party or something, he would have to accept that it's his knife. They can ask him to present the knife then. Where's the knife, right? I mean, because like once you start coming up with really weird excuses, like, yeah, it's possible that you could have just left the knife at the party and then someone stole it. It's possible. But the fact that like you have to take all these, like, it has to be in context, right? Like, okay, knife sheath found at the crime scene. Like once you take it into like contextually, then the story just wouldn't really make sense to the jury. So I don't know. I think sometimes people think that like, oh, I can introduce reasonable doubt by saying that like, oh, it's also possible that, you know, the knife was stolen. Oh, it's also possible that, you know, like I did have the knife and I lost it. Oh, but no, with the jury, they're not that stupid, right? They're going to take all the information and it's going to be in context. And from that, you know, you could still get royally screwed. Hi, B. Hi, Noel. How's it going? How are you doing today? Hello, hello. The process used to collect IgG information. Okay, sorry. 1. Providing the IgG information will require the disclosure of the identity of informants and prejudice the state. I don't get it, but they'll tell us why. The process used to collect information, gathering information from the several informants, including the services to which the S&P profile was submitted indirectly, from the relatives of the defendant who hit on the S&P profile. The state has no intent of presenting the IG information for which a protective order is sought as evidence at trial, which means none of the IG's informants were produced as witnesses at trial. Disclosure information is consistent with the state's privilege to refuse. I still don't get it. I don't understand. Are we going to get there? As a general matter, protect the identity of the informants. So I guess the informants are the people that the relatives that were okay with giving their DNA to help the case. Are they afraid that Kohberger is going to get mad at the relatives? This court should follow the process laid out by Idaho's appellate courts to determine whether the IgG information must be disclosed. Conclusion. Based on the above, the state respectfully prays for the court to enter an order protecting the IgG information from disclosure as it falls outside the purview of Rule 16. In the alternative, if the defense can establish IG information is in fact relevant, the state asks this court to conduct a requisite in-camera hearing for the state to present information related to the IG information and then enter a protective order under ICR. The IG information is not subject to discovery and needs not to be disclosed by the state. What else do we have here? Oh, is this replying to this motion? Or is this something else? This is in 2020. What is this? Oh, this is the appellate. Okay. Hold on. I skipped these 2 pages because I was like, do I need to read that? So we protect the identity of the informants. Okay. They should follow the appellate courts. Okay. I don't know. I'm still kind of confused. But anyways, that's where we're at. Maybe there'll be some. I'll wait for maybe court TV and law and crime. Maybe they'll explain it further or something like that. And I'll let you guys know. The media might hound the relatives for interviews. No, that's what I was thinking too. But I was saying that, like, you know, they don't want the defense to have this. That's what this motion for protective order is for. So they don't have to disclose information and give it to the defense. That's why I was a little bit confused. Maybe his family decided to help the cops. They didn't tell Bryan. But, like, just because the family wishes not to be, you know, to not have it disclosed that they assisted law enforcement, I don't see why that would be a enough for the courts to be like, okay, well, the defense doesn't need to have access to this information. I don't know. But, I mean, like, I get the meat of their argument. I just don't understand the initial reasoning for not wanting the defense to have this, I guess. But anyways, that's the Kohberger stuff. Take a break. I need to use the bathroom. I scrolled back to see what I missed, and I was jump scared twice. Wait, did you listen to it, though? I thought it was really funny, okay? I didn't expect it. I was like, oh, new video from Tug. Sure, I'll watch it, you know, eat my food really quick, and it was pretty funny. All right, y'all, I'm going to use the restroom really quick, and we're going to play a quick little ad. Okay, how are we all doing today? You think the sister did? I did. I'm a fraud. Such an unfortunate clip. No way her team was okay with that. Unless they're just trolling her. I don't know. That's so weird. It says that they're not going to use them as witnesses. It says that they're not going to present any of the how they made the family tree. They're not going to present that in trial. They're not even going to have the relatives. They're not even going to have them be witnesses or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm confused. I'm confused. But I'll keep an eye out. I'm sure Court TV and Law and Crime will cover this later on, and I'll let you guys know what I find. Oh, is it summer solstice? You know, I didn't know what summer solstice was until my apartment. They like celebrated it. It's like the day that has the most daylight, right? Before it starts going back down again, and then sooner or later it's gonna start getting dark at 5 p.m. and all that. I'm doing good, Taxi. How are you? How's it going? Hello. All right, so we're done with Kohberger. Keep an eye out for the Kohberger stuff. I'll let you guys know if there's any updates. Now, a couple weeks ago, we watched a hearing that took place. When was this? It was a couple weeks ago, right? Now, this is between the Petito Schmidt family versus the Laundrie family. And the Petito Schmidt family, they also dragged in Steve Bertolino in it as well. Steve Bertolino is the Laundrie's, I think he was hired to be Bryan Laundrie's lawyer. I'm not sure where at some point they decided to have him represent the family as well. But I guess he was the family's maybe like legal representative, I guess. And they put out that statement where, you know, when Gabby Petito's family were looking for her, they put out a really a statement And, honestly, if they didn't put out the statement, they probably wouldn't be here today. But they put out a statement saying that, like, oh, we hope you guys find Gabby or something, and we hope that she reunites with the family. And we listened to that hearing, and it was very long. It was very lengthy. But what stood out to most of us? What stood out to most of us was when the lawyer, the opposing, whose lawyer was it argued? Oh, I think it was the Laundrie's lawyer. Oh, God. The Laundrie's lawyer was like, well, in the statement, when it says we hope that Gabby reunites with the family, it could have technically meant we hope that her remains reunites with the family. And that's what we're just like, what the fuck? Did he just argue that? No way. And at that point, I was like, man, is this lawyer just trying to throw everything he can and see what sticks? I don't know. That was a really weird argument. I think it definitely woke us. Well, it definitely woke us up because we're like a little bit snoozy in that motion hearing. But like, yeah, it was. No, it wasn't Bertolino that said that. It was the new Laundrie lawyer. Bertolino was in there and he had his own lawyer. But yeah, it was like, is that really the statement you want to go with? But anyways, we're gonna talk about the Petito v. Laundrie stuff, and so we're waiting for the court to make their decision because basically that hearing, they wanted the court to dismiss. They wanted to dismiss. Let's see. Motion to dismiss Second Amendment complaint. Okay, so the lawyer put in an order, a motion to dismiss. The Laundries put in a motion to dismiss as well, and both of them was, spoiler alert, both of them was denied by the judge. So we had to wait a couple of weeks for the judge to come out with her word that I'm looking for. Decision? Is that the word I'm looking for? Oh, this is not so weird. Decision, yeah. Decision. Okay. I just want to read the court documents really quick. They're not going to be long. They're going to be super short. And then after that, what else do we got? I don't think we're going to do the shabusiness today. We'll see. Depends on how fast I read these. It's only 5 pages and 8 pages. But I do want to hear from what the judge is going to say. So, I don't know. These court documents, you think they'd be boring, but they're actually pretty interesting to read. Especially when it's like lawyers and judges just like slamming each other in a very sort of, I don't want to say it's a nice way, but it's like sometimes they just go pretty. Sometimes it's just pretty ruthless. I don't know. I always enjoyed reading the stuff that Ben Shu submitted because they were pretty ruthless. But anyways, I take a full day to go through. I don't know if I want to dedicate a full day to her. I don't know. I don't know if we're ready yet. I don't know if we're ready. I don't know. There's a lot going on with that one. And the fact that the Shabusiness team, they recently was like, well, it's technically not SA because the body is deceased. You can't SA a body or something like that. And you can't SA someone that doesn't have their genitals attached to their body. I don't know. That case is like a whole that's a lot of mind scrubbing that you got to do afterwards. I don't know if you can even be mentally prepared for it. Honestly, let me just jump into it really quick. Let's see. This right here. Here, I'll read this article real quick. Defense argues that the victim is not a person after death. Okay, I'm gonna try to read this in a very we're not gonna get too graphic. Oh god, it's actually really graphic. I don't even know how I'm gonna even skip around this. We're not gonna get graphic. We'll try not to. I'll do my best. Okay. Attorneys representing Taylor has filed a motion in their case arguing the charges of SA against her should be dismissed, which is scheduled to be discussed on the hearing June 13. And they denied that, by the way. She is charged with first-degree intentional homicide of Shad Thyrian in February 2022. God, that was like a year ago. That's crazy. When the police interviewed her after her arrest, detectives said that she confessed to smoking crack and engaging in sex act with the victim that's involved with strangulation. In the criminal complaint, the police said Shabusiness assaulted the victim's body after he was deceased. I don't even know how I can even censor this. Prosecutors allege that a sex toy was used on the victim. How about this? I'm just going to highlight it so I don't have to say it, and then you guys can just read it about that. That way I don't have to worry about censoring it. But the defense motion claims the state lab report was inconclusive for DNA evidence. So they weren't sure if there was DNA on the sex toy, I guess. Frolic also questioned the reliability of the statements that she made to the police after her arrest, saying that she was under the influence of trazodone and methamphetamine. Trazodone. Why did I hear that? Did I hear that recently? Trazodone? Trazodone? What is trazodone again? Trazodone, antidepressant. Trazodone. Oh, what I'm thinking of is like the steroid. It also begins like a TR or something like that. Corey's just gonna redact everything. Listen, YouTube doesn't like some stuff sometimes, okay? We try to follow the rules a little bit, you know? Perhaps most shockingly, Shabiz's attorneys are challenging the charges of SA based on whether or not the victim was a person. Like, this is just how messy this case is. Third-degree SA, as defined, of the Criminal Code of Wisconsin, is committed by one who has intercourse with another person without consent. So they're basically saying, well, technically, victim was deceased, so that's not a person. So how can you charge him with third-degree SA? Anyways, that's just a little preview of that trial, okay? Like, I don't know. That's a whole different stream, I think. It's a different stream. I literally just heard about someone getting their sentence reduced. Oh, for the same argument. Do you know who it was? So I can look it up. I'm actually kind of curious. Really drawn it for a little bit while. It was extremely sedating. Oof. Oh, I hope everything's good now. On a better medication. Okay, so Petito Schmidt versus Laundrie and Bertolino. Order denying defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie's motion to dismiss Second Amendment complaint. Again, guys, this is going to be, I don't know, podcast style, I guess. So I'm going to read this to you. You can have me in the background. You can do your chores. I don't know, edit your videos, play your video games, whatever it is that you're doing, okay? I'm going to read this to you. This cause came before the court for hearing on 24th of May, 2023 on defendants Christopher and Roberta Laundrie's motion to dismiss Second Amendment complaint and plaintiff's response to motion. Oh, by the way, they have set a trial date. It's going to be in 2024, like a year from now. Is this it or is this something else? Oh, this is it. Okay, cool. Yeah. Is this it? Civil SC set May 13. Is that it? I thought it was in July. Oh, pre-trial conference is set for March 22nd. And then jury trial, May 13. Okay. Yep, 1 year from now. But who knows? It might get pushed, right? So it's a motion dismissed, blah, 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 blah. Plaintiffs were presented and represented at the hearing by Patrick Riley. Oh, that's his name, Patrick Riley. Listen, Mr. Riley. Oh, no. It was Lucas. Oh, sorry, plaintiffs. I'm sorry. I'm getting it mixed up. Lucas. That's the name that I remember. Lucas is the lawyer that was like, you know, when they said reunite Gabby with her family, well, it could have also meant reunite Gabby's remains with her family. I don't know. Very interesting argument. The court has considered the Second Amendment complaint filed in this case. Defendant's motion said case law provided by the parties and arguments of counsel and is otherwise advised on the premises. As stated by the undersigned's learned colleague in the order to file. I'm sorry, I'm having reading issues right now. As stated by the undersigned's learned colleague in the order denying defendant's motion to dismiss, entered previously in this cause. Today's ruling does not determine what happened to Gabby Petito. Instead, today's ruling is technical in nature. It determines only whether Gabby Petito's parents, the plaintiffs, stated a valid claim against the defendants. Order denying defendant's motions to dismiss. The undersigned also reiterates her learned colleague that the reader of this order should be cautioned that any allegation discussed in this order is simply that, an allegation, not a proven fact. So just because the judge decides to dismiss the Laundrie's motion to dismiss, Bertolino's motion to dismiss, it doesn't mean that all these allegations are all of a sudden true. they just have to, I think just for the sake of it, for at the process that they are right now with all this pre-trial stuff, they just have to assume that it's true, but it doesn't mean that it's true. Does that make sense? I don't know. I might have sucked explaining that. If you guys have any questions, I'll try to re-explain it again. Other than that, I'm just gonna move on. Under Florida law, the court must assume. Oh, there you go. It explains it right here. Perfect. Under Florida law, the court must assume all well-pled facts are true when ruling on a motion to dismiss. So that's what I was saying earlier. When the court does this ruling, it just has to assume that what they're saying is true. So they have to assume that Petito, that Laundrie family knew that Petito was dead and that Bryan probably told them and stuff like that. And that the statement that they made would be outrageous based on those facts. That's what I think. Okay. A motion to dismiss tests the legal sufficiency of a complaint to state a cause of action. It does not turn on issues of the ultimate fact. Let's see. So there's all these citings. I need to read that. Further, a motion to dismiss is not a substitute for a motion of summary judgment, and the court may not transform a motion to dismiss into a motion of summary judgment. So that's something that's going to happen later down the road, perhaps. Plaintiffs sued defendants for intentional infliction of emotional distress in counts 1, 2, 4, 5 of their Second Amendment complaint. Florida recognizes the tort of intentional infliction of emotional distress. To state a cause of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress, a complaint must allege 4 elements. 1, deliberate or reckless infliction of mental suffering. 2, reckless conduct. 3, the conduct caused emotional distress. And 4, the distress was severe. Oh, wait, so maybe the court doesn't have to assume that the Laundrie family knew what happened to Gabby. Maybe they just have to assume that, like, oh, they did suffer from intentional infliction of emotional distress. Okay. The question for today is whether the plaintiff stated cause of action for that tort against defendants Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie. Analysis. Many of the arguments made in the defendant's motion to dismiss and at the hearing for... Hi, KK. How are you doing today? Hello. At the hearing for the same that has been addressed, I'm pretty sure they knew. I mean, they very quickly hired a lawyer for their son, okay? But, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I feel like all of us here are thinking like, yeah, they probably knew. Another thing, apparently they're going to be working on, so like as this thing progresses, they're going to work on getting a subpoena so they can get the phone records and communication between the Laundrie family or the Laundrie parents and Bryan. So, can't wait to see that. Can't wait to hear about that. Many of the arguments made in defense motion to dismiss at the hearing for the same has been addressed by the undersigned's predecessor in the order denying defendant's motion to dismiss entered previously in this cause. So again, the Laundrie family, they've tried to have this dismissed, I think a couple times already, and now they're trying it again. Bertolino, on the other hand, I think this is like his first time trying to dismiss this. The court adopts analysis and legal conclusion of both stated orders herein and will not address the arguments resolved in those orders in this court. The court limits its analysis herein to the specific arguments not otherwise addressed by the 2 orders cited above. Causation. The court finds the plaintiffs have adequately pled causation. Specifically, causation is directly pled in paragraphs in the Second Amendment complaint. To the extent causation has not been directly pled, reasonable inferences made in favor of the plaintiff support causation when reviewing the all factual allegation of the Second Amendment complaint. In reviewing a motion to dismiss, the court is required to review all reasonable inferences rising from the allegations in favor of the plaintiffs. Okay, that's also what I mentioned above earlier too, but this just said it a little bit better. So when the court makes a decision, they have to assume that all the inferences from the allegations are in favor of the Petito family. Okay. Arguments that plaintiffs must present. Arguments that plaintiffs must be present. Defendants argue the plaintiff's cause of motion failed because the plaintiff must be present for the infliction of emotional distress. After reviewing all the factual allegations in the Second Amendment complaint and the reasonable inferences arising from the allegations in favor of the plaintiffs, it can be reasonably inferred that the conduct alleged was directly towards plaintiffs. Specifically, both statements reference Gabby Petito's family. Discussing that cases, additional arguments. To the extent that the defendants made additional arguments to support dismissal in their motion or at the hearing as to the same, the court has determined that none are sufficient to preclude the court at the motion to dismiss stage from concluding the Second Amendment complaint. State cause of action. Da, 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 da. Okay, so this is deny. Sorry, who was this again? This is for the Petito family, right? Yep, Petito family. Deny. All right, move on to the next one. Bertolino, the lawyer. There might be some copy pastas here. This cause came before the court for hearing on 24th of May 2023 on defendant Steve Bertolino's motion to dismiss Second Amendment complaint. And again, this is the same thing. Today's ruling does not determine what happened to Gabby Petito. Instead, today's ruling is technical in nature. Determines only whether Petito's family stated a valid claim against the defendants. This might be the same thing, actually. Oh, here it is. Analysis. Plaintiffs sued defendant Bertolino for intentional infliction of emotional distress. You know, I wonder how are they going to... That's going to be a tough thing. I don't know, because I'm assuming any communication between Bertolino and, let's say, Bryan... That's under attorney-client privilege, right? But what about Bertolino and the family? Because at what point did the family hire Bertolino as their attorney? I don't know. I wonder how are they going to go around that? From the burn after reading letter, we know the mother is a hopeless grade A enabler. Love your white roses. Please keep us posted if you put the seeds in. Oh, did you see my vegetable garden that I'm starting? Yeah, my vegetable garden is I don't know. It's starting, but there's some that it's like, it's been almost 2 weeks now and some of the seeds it's not happening. I don't know. What do I just give up or do I just keep waiting? I don't know. No, there's like no sprouts from there. Exactly. They acted exactly how guilty people would. If they knew what happened, I don't know. It's just their actions are just so gross. Ugh. I don't know. The fact that they did everything they can to protect their son. Like, imagine protecting your son who is a fucking murderer. And not only that, it's not like they had no emotional connection with Gabby. I mean, apparently she lived at their house for a little bit. They know her. Maybe they didn't like her. I don't know. But I don't know. I just think it's so weird. And they took the family vacation. And then they blocked the Petito family on social media. Blocked on the phone, apparently. I don't know. It's just so gross. But anyways, we'll see. Florida recognizes the tort of intentional infliction of emotional distress to cause or da-da-da-da. We got that already. The question for today is whether plaintiffs stated cause of an action for that tort against defendant Bertolino. Defendant Bertolino argues that there are no material facts pled which even remotely establish Mr. Bertolino acted with an intent to cause severe emotional distress or with reckless disregard. Because at this point, isn't Bertolino just like a mouthpiece and advisor? But I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Alternatively, argues Bertolino, even if the conduct alleged is extreme and outrageous, it is privilege under the circumstances, as there you go. Mr. Bertolino was doing nothing more than acting as a Laundrie's attorney and exercising their legal rights in a permissible way. I wonder, though, if this does get dismissed against Bertolino, can the Laundries, can they sue Bertolino and be like, hey, you were our lawyer. We were working under your advice. You screwed us over. I don't know. I wonder how that would work. Argues defendant Bertolino he had an absolute privilege with respect to statements made as a Laundrie's attorney on their behalf. The court limits its analysis to specific argument by defendant Bertolino and his motion to dismiss and the hearing as the same. Here's what I want to know, I guess. What happens? Okay, say there's a lawyer, right, that's defending their criminal client. What if their client tells the lawyer that, hey, I did it, but then still wants to build like a defense as if he didn't do it? How does that work? Do you guys know? Would the lawyer at that point just be like, okay, well, I'm going to submit a thing where it says I can't represent you because we just have, I don't know, conflict of interest? How does that work? I got to watch more fucking Bruce River videos. I wonder if he ever talks about that. Like, what happens if your client just tells you, hey, like, I did it, but, I want to still defend myself and act like I didn't do it. How does that go? Hi, Shirley. How are you doing today? How's it going? His mom didn't like her. Remember that cringy letter? I don't remember it anymore. I remember it was really cringy, but did she implicitly mention their relationship? I don't remember. Hi, Hydra. How are you doing today? How's it going? Pursuant to plaintiff's oral stipulation made at the hearing, plaintiffs concede that no defendant in this matter had a legal duty to plaintiffs to speak or act. Consequently, the allegations of silence or failure to act on their own and in isolation will not be considered as satisfying the elements required. So I guess it's just where it says that, like, hey, if they didn't if the Laundrie family didn't make a statement, because they didn't have a duty to act or a legal duty to act, then yeah, they wouldn't have been in this shitstorm that they're in right now, right? Alleged outrageous conduct. Like his co-defendants, defendant Bertolino argues that the statements alleged to have been made are clearly not outrageous on their face. Whether conduct is outrageous enough to support a claim or intentional infliction of emotional distress as is a question of law, not a question of fact. And that's what the Petito lawyer was arguing. Like, yeah, if you take the statement by itself, it's not outrageous. However, you got to take it into context. How are you going to ignore the context? In making this argument, defendant Bertolino invites the court to disagree with her predecessor's judge's ruling. The court declines this invitation and adopts analysis of her predecessor found in Section 3 of the order denying defendant's motion to dismiss. The court also goes further. The Second Amendment complaint sets out a factual allegation of events that are alleged to have occurred between 2nd July 2020. Wait, why are we going back that far? Bryan Laundrie and Gabby Petito became engaged to marry. Okay. Through October 23rd, 2021. Interview conducted by the Sarasota reporter. Okay. While the undersigned predecessor focused primarily on the September 14, 2022 statement, within this court's view, correct and well-reasoned analysis, such as the event focus and specific approach, it is not necessary to determine that plaintiffs have sufficiently pled a cause of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress. The Stedman case instructed in which it describes the importance of context in intentional infliction of emotional distress cases. Isolated conduct may not be sufficient to state a cause of action. However, taken in all conduct, considering it alongside other conduct and putting into context. Yeah, putting things in context is very important. I don't know why the other side was saying they're like, oh, the statement on its own, it's harmless. Come on now, it's not a big deal. But the statement was made when a family was scrambling and struggling to find out what happened to their daughter. Her fiance came home with her truck. She wasn't there. He's not responding. The family ain't responding. So yeah, when they make that statement saying they're like, oh, we hope that we hope that Gabby reunites with her family, and they may have known that she'd already been deceased at that point, and they may have known that Bryan murdered her. Yeah, it's pretty crappy. To put simply, at the stage of litigation, it is not one alleged statement, act, or event that determines whether the plaintiffs have sufficiently pled their case. It is all of them collectively put together. A defendant wishes this court to review all allegations of conduct or the lack of conduct as isolated incidents that on their own would not, as a matter of law, constitute outrageous conduct. If the court was permitted to do that, defendant would be correct on his assertions. However, pleading a cause of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress is not always so simple. Defendant argues the court's predecessor did not have the luxury of reviewing the entire statement alleged to have been made on September 14, 2021, and only a portion of that statement was contained in the amended complaint. The parties filed a joint stipulation regarding motion to dismiss, allowing this court to review the entire statement as if it was included in the second amended complaint. Oh, I wonder what was the portion that was included. Was it only like, oh, we hope that Gabby reunites with her family? Reviewing the entirety of the statement within the context of other allegations does not change the court's analysis. Defendant further argues the second amended complaint does not offer any explanation as to how September 19, 2021 statement was a legal cause of severe emotional distress or how it could be. Here, the court's analysis is the same. The allegation of the September 19, 2021 statement on its own would not constitute outrageous conduct. However, all alleged conduct put together satisfies the pleading requirements for intentional infliction of emotional distress. Also, remember that the defense tried to argue that they tried saying that like, oh, well, the Laundrie family, they were already distressed. We didn't cause that distress. We weren't the origination of the distress. But Petito family lawyer was like, well, they added additional distress. So I thought that was kind of an interesting argument as well. Defendant also argues, oh God, this is where we get to the fucking Lucas argument. Defendant also argues that September 14, 2021 statement did not affirmatively suggest that Gabby Petito was alive or deceased. Argues defendant, Lucas, inferences can be made that reunited her with her family could mean that her remains would be reunited with her family. God, what a bad. Hi, Ghosty. How are you doing today? We read the document earlier. If you missed it, don't worry. I will probably just post it on the YouTube. Maybe I'll chop it up or something like that. Oh, God, no. However, in the same vein, reasonable inference could be made that reunited with her family means that Gabby Petito would be reunited with her family alive. I don't know. The fact that the lawyer was being really pedantic about, what reunited means. Oh, it could be reunited with the remains. Like, I don't know. That's just like, just a bad taste. In reviewing a motion to dismiss, the court is required to view all reasonable inferences arising from the allegations in favor of the plaintiffs. Therefore, even if the defendant's suggested inference is reasonable, its applicability is not the motion to dismiss juncture of this litigation. In this instance, even with the full September 14th statement being considered, taking all well-pled allegations as true, and considering all inferences in favor of the plaintiffs as is required when ruling on a motion to dismiss, the plaintiffs sufficiently pled a cause of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress against defendant Bertolino. Each of the 4 elements of intentional infliction of emotional distress has been pled. Privileges. Alternatively, defendant Bertolino argues that the conduct alleged in the Second Amendment complaint is privileged conduct, requiring, so does that mean attorney-client privileges? Requiring dismissal of the counts against him. The assertion of privilege to assert a legal right in a legal permissible way is an affirmative defense to intentional infliction of emotional distress. A motion to dismiss should not be granted on the basis of affirmative defense unless the defense is well established in the face of pleadings. Bertolino argues that the 4 corners of the Second Amendment complaint define Mr. Bertolino as the lawyer acting on behalf of the Laundrie family. According to defendant Bertolino, as the attorney for the Laundrie family, Mr. Bertolino had a legal duty and a legal right to issue a statement on Ms. Petito's disappearance in a permissible way. While this argument may hold weight as an affirmative defense at the summary judgment, or trial phase of this litigation, it has not passed the test on the motion to dismiss review. So they're saying that even though his argument that he made this statement as a, attorney for the Laundrie family, although right now you're not going to be able to dismiss it based off of this. However, later on, when they get to summary judgment or when they get to the trial phases, hey, this argument might hold weight. So I don't know. It might just be Bertolino. Maybe this whole thing will be dropped against Bertolino, and then they'll just continue pursuing against the Laundrie family. It is true that generally an attorney serves as a client for his agent, However, it is also true that an agent may be individually liable for torts committed even while acting for its principal. Taking all alleged facts as true and making reasonable inferences in favor of the plaintiff, a reasonable inference could be made that defendant Bertolino knew everything his clients knew and still acted as the alleged in the Second Amendment complaint. Whether or not the conduct alleged was done as a matter of right in a permissible way is a question for another day under a different review standard. Defendant Bertolino finally argues that he's entitled to an absolute immunity because his conduct was in connection with the representation of the Laundrie family. Mr. Bertolino broadly argues that absolute immunity is afforded to any act occurring during the course of judicial proceeding, regardless of whether the act involves a defamatory statement or other tortious behavior, so long as the act has some relation to the proceeding. Defendant's motion dismissed, page 15. It is important to note that the absolute and qualified immunity, as described in the cases cited by the defendant, relate to the lawyer's representation of a client during litigation and to some extent during pre-litigation investigations. Defendant requests the court to infer from the Second Amendment complaint the Laundries face criminal investigation, media inquiries, and that he should be afforded absolute immunity because of his representation. Okay, so because there was no litigation happening with the Laundrie family and I guess maybe the Petito family at this point, him asking for absolute immunity, the court is saying that it doesn't apply here because there was no litigation that was happening. While it is true that inference may be made, it is also reasonable to infer based on the Second Amendment complaint that the Laundrie defendants were not facing litigation at the time of the alleged conduct. Therefore, while defendant Bertolino may utilize the litigation privilege and the immunity that follows as an affirmative defense, it does not act to defeat plaintiff's cause of action at this stage. Okay, I think I remember the lawyer, I think I remember him talking about this, saying that like Bertolino doesn't get immunity because there was actually no pending or there's no like actual litigation that was that the Laundrie family was facing. Okay, cool. Additional arguments. To the extent that defendant Bertolino made an additional argument to support dismissal in his motion or the hearing the same, the court has determined that none are sufficient to preclude the court at the motion to dismiss stage from concluding the Second Amendment, blah, 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 cause of action for intentional infliction of emotional distress against defendant Bertolino on behalf of the plaintiffs. All right. Denied and denied. All right. Let me catch up with the chat. How are you guys doing today? How's it going? Did I speed run through that or what? No, not really. It took me like an hour, 20 minutes. Oh, I tried. Okay. Did abuse him as a child? Who? Are we talking about Kohberger? Or we're talking about Bryan. So we don't have any information on that. That was pretty quick. Okay. Laundrie parents. Sorry. Hydrosphere. Hello, hello. You wouldn't say evil, disturbed. Laundrie parents be like, we just innocently meant that Gabby's parents would get murdered too. Then they would reunite with Gabby. Oh, God, no. It made me very upset too because I could literally see before my eyes how her sickening lack of proper boundaries had made her son into such a psycho. This mom has no self-respect. Oh my God, same. It's sad to see how she dehumanizes the young woman to protect her son. It was extra when there's lots of better proof of guilt. It's learned behavior. Lots of mothers or sons do that. It's very weird. They do no wrong. Oh yeah, I hate that too. Like the family loyalty thing, the thing where it's like protect the family no matter what, even if they, fucked up. I don't know. It's ugh. Two bad Bryans. Are they both spelled with a Y? Is Bryan Laundrie with a Y or is it with an I? I don't remember now. That was pretty quick. See, I don't know. I couldn't read any quicker though because there's a lot of like genetic genealogy. That's a tough word for me to say. Genetic genealogy investigations. Genetic genealogy services. Bryan. Okay, yeah, Kohberger's with a Y, right? And then Bryan Bryan Laundrie's with an I. All right, guys. The business stuff, not today, but in 5 days from now, you know who's gonna have a preliminary hearing? When is that? Oh, that's on Monday. Oh, that's on Monday. Okay, preliminary hearing. Chad, y'all hear about Chad? I posted a video recently about Chad. Did I post it yesterday? Maybe I did. So if you guys haven't seen, caught up with the Chad stuff yet, I did post a video if you guys want to watch it. We went over the body cam footage. We went over the body cam footages. I did like a Google map of like the area that they're in. But yeah, it's a super sad case. We don't have a lot of information about it. We don't know why he did it. For me, I just feel like one of those things where he wanted to get back at his wife for some reason, and I think it's really sad when you hate the spouse more than you loved your children. But we do see cases of that where sometimes people use children as a way to get back at their spouse, and it's really messed up. No, not Chad Daybell. We have another Chad. Oh God, we got the Chad, we got the Bryans. Ugh. Yeah, the Chad case is his last name is like what's his name again? Chad Doer something. I don't remember his last name, but yeah, that I don't know. It's a pretty sad one. Literally a couple days before Father's Day, he murders 3 of his very young sons. But what I wonder, do you guys remember when you guys were in like school? Remember how before Mother's Day, Father's Day, you usually have like a school project when you're working with your class and you guys make cards for your dad, your mom and stuff like that? I wonder if his kids were about to celebrate Father's Day and they made cards for their dad. I don't know. And it's just like sitting around somewhere. I don't know. That stuff. I just like think about like weird stuff like that sometimes. And it's just like, oh, it's just so sad. So process. That name. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. And it's the manner that he did it too, because, okay, let's say like he did it at the spur of the moment, right? Well, we end up finding out that he confessed that it wasn't like a spur of the moment thing. He possibly planned this for months. And I thought it was one of those things where it's like, okay, he snapped. There's a gun there. Spur of the moment, panicked. I don't know. Even so, it's inexcusable, right? However, the fact that you found out that when the wife tried to intervene, one of the kids tried running away and ran off. But fucking Chad drove into a fucking car, chased after him, and brought him back. I don't know. When you hear details like that, it's just like, what the fuck? We don't know if he has mental illness or not. We don't know. What we do know was that his dad, I don't understand why his dad even did this too. Like, I understand wanting to protect your son and stuff like that, but come on. Your son murdered 3 of your grandsons. The dad did like an interview where he was, I don't know, he didn't want people to judge his son. He he said that his son snapped. This is not who his son really is. I don't know. At this point, if 3 of your grandbabies have been murdered, why don't you just shut the fuck up and just wait for more information to come out? Maybe you don't really know your son as well as you think you do. I don't know. I don't understand why he gave an interview, but I know he didn't do like an in-camera interview or anything like that. I think it was just like an interview that he did with a news reporter, and the news reporter just like maybe the news reporter read his interview out of context or something, because it just, to me, it just sounds really bad. I'm like, why give an interview? Just don't say anything. Wait until more information comes out. I don't know. I don't understand what's the need to come to a quick defense of your son. But again, maybe I'm just making a lot of I don't know. Maybe I'm just assuming a lot, because we didn't listen from him, and maybe the interview was just clipped out of context or something like that. And yeah, I don't know. But anyways, I don't know. It just came off really, really bad to me. But yeah, we have his preliminary hearing coming up in 5 days. Schizophrenia, severe paranoia. But the fact that, like, if you're, I don't know, let's say you have schizophrenia, right? And then you're going through like phases. How long do those phases last? Because he said that he was planning this for months. I don't know. When you're like kind of like clear-minded again, wouldn't you be like, okay, hold on a second, I just had this really crazy thought. Let me talk to my psychiatrist. Let me tell my wife. Let me get away from my kids. I don't know. Ugh, whatever. But yeah, we'll have to wait to hear more information. We don't know much information yet. We don't know why he did it. We don't know what the family dynamic is like, what his relationship is like with his stepdaughter, with his wife, with his 3 kids. I mean, people were pulling up his Facebook page, and it was like pictures of like him and his kids. I think he just recently updated like his profile picture or something like that with him and his sons. And like, I don't know. It's, ugh. And then also, why did he target the 3 little boys? Why didn't he target his stepdaughter? Or is it because at that point he knew that she could defend herself because she's 16 years old? I don't know. We don't know much information, so I'll just wait. But it's just like, ugh. I think what really disturbs people is his demeanor too. His demeanor when he was being arrested in the body cam footage, he was more concerned about the dog, and he was more concerned about being uncomfortable because of the way he was like propped up by the cop than he was with the fact that his 3 sons were murdered by him. I don't know. It was so weird. Like, remember how he was just like, oh, can I get up? Don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. Can I get up, please? It was like kind of uncomfortable. And then when they were walking him towards the police car, he was like, oh, there's a wall in the back of my pocket. Can you like take it out, please? I don't know. Probably because when you sit in the car and there's a wall in your butt pocket, it's probably uncomfortable to sit on. I don't know. It was just so weird. But then we saw him at the bond hearing, and yeah, he seemed to have shed some tears, but in a quick second, he was like straight face again. I don't know. There's a lot of like weird things about that guy. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I saw tears, but it was like him like scrunching his face up, and then like a second afterwards, he was like this, like. So I don't know if he was like doing it for the show, for the judge, maybe to like not make the bond so high, or maybe he did legitimately felt sad, or it was shock, and I don't know. Again, I'm not a body language expert or anything like that, but yeah, it was very chilling. Let me see if I can find it. I want to watch it again.
Breaking news is AEH's promotion.
Wait, we're not going to watch this again. I already watched it twice already. Okay. Yeah, it was this part right here. This part?
I hope it's the worst fact pattern that ever comes before this court. Judge, it's important for the court to know and the bond we're going to require.
I don't know. It's just like, oh, let me squeeze it out as much as I can. Oh, it ain't coming out. Okay, fine. All right, it ain't coming out. Fuck it. I don't know. Oh, God. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. We don't have enough information. It to me it just came off really like chilling. That's the word I'm gonna use for Chad. Just chilling. Chilling guy. Needs to disappear. I mean, she's disappearing in Spain, you know, but my updates from AH is just all the umbrella guy stuff. Anyways, I have a feeling he was planning. That's the thing too. Usually when you hear like the whole like when you hear about someone that annihilates entire family, typically it'll end with like them suiciding themselves as well. But maybe he was thinking about it, but he didn't have the balls to do it. We don't know, right? Because we did see him sitting at the front porch of the house. The gun was right next to him, and he was just sitting there. Police was telling him to get up. He wouldn't get up. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was hoping that the police would do it for him. I don't know. Anyways, we don't know much information. But the reason why we have so much vitriol towards him is because, one, we saw the body cam footage, and then two, he's admitted to doing this. He's admitted that he's planned this for months. But yeah, we'll have to hear for more information. I'm actually really surprised that the preliminary is happening so quickly. But I think it's good to kind of get this ball rolling real quick. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this will end up kind of hurting the state in some way. The fact that they're moving on with the preliminary so quickly. But yeah, anyways. Maybe the confession was just that good. What's a fisticuff? I've never heard that word before. Maybe he's constipated. Oh, Letitia, haven't pooped in like 3 weeks. Yeah. Oh, and then also, this is in Ohio, right? Yeah, this is in Ohio. Ohio has the DP. So he might possibly, I mean, I think they're definitely going to try to throw the DP on the table. Because without a doubt, he's admitted that he's done it. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe, do you think at some point maybe he'll like plead not guilty by reason of insanity? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, I guess. Anyways, but that's it for today. How are y'all doing today? Oh god, I still have the K-bar knife up with Julie. Scary. Oh, it's a British term for fight or argument. Oh, fisticuff. Okay, interesting. Never heard that before. But yeah, did you guys have a good weekend? I watched a couple movies. Oh, have you guys been watching The Idol? I feel like no one's watching The Idol. But you know, I like her acting, but each episode just gets worse and worse and worse for me. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's just, oh god, it's just so cringe. It's so cringe. I don't know. The Weekend and like I don't know. You haven't seen it? It's on HBO. But I watched the newest episode of The Idol, and then I watch. Hi Sarah. How are you doing today? How's it going? We were just talking about the Idol. I had a great weekend. You hung out with friends and family. Nice. Yeah, my friend had a pizza party for her husband's birthday, and it was like a Tekken tournament thing, and I lost, and I was really disappointed. But yeah, I don't know what else was there. Oh, you guys ever watch this movie, The Tusk? Someone in chat recommended to me. I think it was one of my mods, but I watched The Tusk because we were going. Do you guys remember? I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was on YouTube. We were going through Johnny Depp's IMDb of all the movies he's been in, and Tusk was on there, and I was like, he's in The Tusk. Isn't it like a horror movie or something? Anyways, that movie, Johnny Depp's character, I don't know. I didn't like his character, but it was very interesting. I recommend watching The Tusk. If you guys are into like dark comedy, watch The Tusk. No, I don't think he's a good actor. No. God, maybe he is a good actor because he's making me cringe so hard. His character is really cringe. I don't know. The Weeknd being in it is just, I don't know. Ugh, gosh. You watch The Orphan instead? Oh my god, I love The Orphan. I love the first one. Dude, it's so good. The part where she like pulls out her teeth and you can see her real rotten teeth. Oh, history nerd. Oh, nice. Well, we'll definitely come to you for any of the history stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think Lily Rose Depp is a really good actress. You know, I think she does a really good job. It's just that at some point you become so annoyed with her character that you just start hating her character and you're just like, okay, I'm over her. And then I don't know. I feel like there's no one in the TV show that you like. Usually there's like one person that you like in the TV show that you kind of like cheer for, but like everyone on the show sucks. They all suck, okay? Even people who are watching it for Jenny from Blackpink, her character role in there, I think she's supposed to play like the antagonist. I was excited to see Daniel Levy in it though, but I haven't seen him since episode 1, so I don't know if he just got dropped or what. But yeah, I don't know. Ugh. Annabelle, I liked Annabelle. It's not as good as the original. What was the other movie called again? That Annabelle stemmed from. She's creepy. Wait, who's creepy? Oh, Annabelle? Yeah, Annabelle was okay, but I still enjoyed it. I also watched I watched The Strays. Oh my god, guys. The Strays on Netflix is kind of interesting. It's about this wife or this mom, wife, whatever, doesn't like the life that she's living. So she just drops everyone, her 2 kids, her husband, and then ups and moves into a different I think this is like takes place in London or sorry, it's in it's in the UK or something. She leaves the city and just like goes into a different area. And then yeah, you guys should watch it. And then her kids come and confront her. She has like this new life. She's you know, she's got a prestigious job being a headmaster. She married a husband who's like rich or something like that. And then her kids come and confront her. And oh my god, you guys should watch it. The Stray was pretty good. But yeah, I watched The Tusk. That's really weird. The Stray. And then I don't know, The Idol. I watch a bunch of shows. I feel like my brain is just rotting right now. Can we get some good recommendations, please? No, not Poltergeist. The ones that what is it? Why can't I think of it? The one with the one where Annabelle was originally from. Yes, from Schitt's Creek. Yes. Oh, I watched Black Mirror too. Have you guys seen Black Mirror yet? I watched the first 2 episodes of Black Mirror. So the second one is actually kind of like a true crime-ish related. If you guys are interested in that, watch that. Last of Us. I finished Last of Us already. Yeah, we done with that. But yeah, I need to watch I think I don't know. The next Black Mirror episode is like an hour and 40 minutes. I'm like, bro, that's like a whole ass movie. Jesus, an hour and 40 minutes? What the heck? What are they doing over there? But yeah, I don't know. And then was there anything else? I feel like I just watched nothing but just weird stuff. Can someone recommend me something normal and wholesome to watch? Oh, wait, no. I started watching Matilda. That was my break from all the true crime stuff and all the weird, dark movies that I've been watching. Oh, God. Matilda holds up so well. The scene where they make Bruce eat that chocolate cake still looks fucking delicious, by the way. You can't watch The Last of Us. The first game was so good. I think they did a good job with the TV show. They didn't follow it to the T. They had its own like little mini adaptations of it, but yeah, I think they did a really good job with The Last of Us. Hypnotic, Letterkenny. I heard about Letterkenny. Yeah. Handmaid's Tale, dude. When is the next season of Handmaid's Tale? When is the next season of Handmaid's Tale? Why can't I say that? Handmaid's Tale. Yeah. When is the new season coming out? Oh my god, I feel like we've been waiting forever. I've been waiting. Have I seen the movie Fall? I don't think so. Fall? Oh, okay. My brother rented the movie, and I was like, sure, I'll watch it. And then I read the synopsis, and I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. It kind of is it similar to the one where James Franco is stuck between like 2 rocks, and he has to like cut his own arm off? Is it kind of like that? I don't know. Movies like that where it's like a survival movie, but they like never go anywhere. They're just like in one spot. I don't know. Those movies are like, I can't watch those. I feel like we're just not going anywhere for 2 hours. Oh, Ozarks is good. I hated the ending of the Ozarks though. Oh, I hate the mom from Ozark. I hate her so much. I freaking hate her. And the kids just annoy the crap out of me because I was expecting so much from the kids, and they end up just being dipshits, just like their mom. This will be the last season. I love Letterkenny. Letterkenny's like comedy, right? It's about like a Kona guy. Follows me with the girls climbing this like TV tower. Yeah, I don't know. Is it worth watching? My brother rented it, and I was like, I don't like movies where it's like the setting is only like when there's only one setting. Oh, really? It's nerve-wracking? Oh, maybe I should have watched it then. No, on Handmaid's Tale. 'Cause I don't know. 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 I don't know Wait, why? Why is that his arena? United States of Terror is good. Oh, was so good. Is that a movie or is it a TV show? Orphan 2, is that Orphan 2? Okay, I didn't watch it, but I watched. Do you guys know who Foundflix is? It's one of my favorite YouTube channels ever. If you guys are too scared to watch horror movies, but you want to know what's up, watch Foundflix. He like recaps it for you. Sometimes though, he does a mean thing and includes a jump scare, which annoys the shit out of me. But yeah, Foundflix is really good. But yeah, I watched a Foundflix recap of The Orphan 2, and I was like, you know what? I'm so glad I didn't pay for the movie. I don't know. Orphan 2 seemed meh, even though number 1 was really good. You got only 1 season deep in Ozark, then they wanted to buy a house in the river. Ozark is good. It's just that I hated the way they ended it. Everyone's just a dipshit. I don't know. You'll feel it's sick in the stomach from vertigo from watching through the whole movie. It's fascinating. Sweet. I mean, okay, he barely includes the jump scares, but sometimes he will. But yeah, I really like their YouTube channel. Let me see. What's a video they posted really recently? Foundflix. Oh, Evil Dead Rise. Oh, I want to watch the original Evil Dead Rise. Is that good? I have it on my watch list. Dude, Evil Dead Rise was it was funny. It wasn't even a horror movie though. I feel like nowadays, in order to get people to watch horror movies, they just have to make it a comedy. It's like not even scary anymore. It's just fucking funny. I hated the end of Ozark. Right? It was so bad. I hated it so much. I don't know. I hate the family. Ugh. I have a horrible starter reflex. I scream immediately. We all do. You're all good. It's fine. But yeah, anyways, ugh. Shoresy's a spinoff of Letterkenny. Man, even you guys ever seen that movie? What's it called? Hereditary? Even Hereditary. It's not even a scary movie. It's just a funny movie. No, I'm just kidding. The ending was really scary, actually. Watch Evil Dead 2. They go back in time. It's a straight comedy. Okay, Evil Dead 2. I'll see if I can find it. See if it's somewhere. Like a girl who is 13. It's okay. Grown adults, same thing, okay? Grown adults be doing the same thing. But yeah, anyways. All right, guys. Well, I think that's kind of it for today. I just wanted to chat with you guys a little bit. Rami and Michelle. Oh my God, that movie is so good. I love it. That was my go-to when I was like in middle school or something. Yeah, that movie is so fun. I gotta rewatch that too. Rami and Michelle, high school reunion, right? You got moles in your garden. Oh, but aren't they so cute though? I heard Guardians of the Galaxy was meh as well. Yeah. I want to watch it, but I heard it was meh. Unfortunately. But you know what? Actually, hold on. People did not like the Doctor Strange movie that came out recently. I thought it was really good. I loved it. It was dark. People died. It was kind of gory and it was kind of scary. They made the Scarlet Witch so freaking creepy. So I love the new Doctor Strange movie, but a lot of people didn't like it. So I don't know. Maybe I will like Guardians of the Galaxy 3. We'll see. Moles are cute, but they wreck the lawn. So how do you get rid of moles then? That seems like impossible. You know how I told you guys that I had a hole? And then the holes kept popping up? Well, ever since I did my yard, I have not seen a hole in my garden. I don't know what happened. But I made sure that I didn't put a weed cover over it because I didn't want him to be like suffocated down there. So like I made sure the part where the holes were coming up, I left it untouched. But yeah, I haven't seen him. I don't know where he went. I've never seen him. You just see the ground moves. Like it's breathing. It's actually not a mole. It's actually some monster down below. Okay. It's coming to grab you one day. One day, one of the tentacles is going to pop right out. It's going to. Oh, man. Oh, prairie dogs. I had prairie dogs eat my potatoes one year. My cat is useless. What, is your cat supposed to be guarding your yard or something like that? I don't think cats care about prairie dogs. They care about like rats and rodents and birds and stuff, right? Oh, prairie dogs. They're so cute as well. Oh, there's a bug that I posted in Discord. We found out that it's a potato bug. It's so cute, but I think it's dead now. I don't know. When I found it yesterday, it seems like it was struggling and it was like breathing all weird and funny. And so I don't know if bugs breathe or not, but it looked like it was like breathing and stuff. But anyways. All right, guys. By the way, guys, if you're new here, join the Discord if you haven't already. get your notifications up so you guys know when I go live, because I just go live randomly. Sometimes like something pops up and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go live. So I'm sorry. I don't know. Sometimes when the new court documents come out, they just happen. Okay, I don't know. It just happens. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna eat some food really quick, and then I'm gonna hop over on Twitch. If you guys want to hang out with me, I play video games. If you're into that, feel free to stop by, say hello. But other than that, we'll be back definitely on Monday for another Chad's preliminary hearing stuff. We'll talk about that. I don't know if they're going to live stream it. They might just post a video afterwards, but we'll see. We'll talk about that. And then if there's any updates or anything, just let me know. Join the Discord, post in the true crime section, or just come and chat with us. We have other sections as well. You can share pictures of your cute little pets or your garden, or maybe you can snap a cute little picture of the prairie dogs. You're so cute and adorable, or the bulls. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go because I'm so hungry. But thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for maybe having me in your background. Thank you for chatting. I appreciate you guys chatting with me, keeping me busy. Other than that, I will see you guys later. If anything pops up, I'll just, keep an eye on Discord. I'll do a little announcement and then I'll just stream. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Join the Discord if you haven't already. I have a new vlog that's up. If you guys are interested in watching vlog stuff, we have a new vlog from Japan. God, guys, if you guys ever go to Japan, please go to Kyoto and spend a couple days there. Do not spend one day in Kyoto. Kyoto is so fucking amazing. It's too beautiful. It's my favorite city in Japan. Although I haven't been to too many cities in Japan yet, but oh god, Kyoto's just amazing. I'm planning on going. I'm hoping I can go back to Japan again at the end of this year. But yeah, anyways, new vlog is out, and I don't know. Follow the Instagram story, or follow the Instagram. Sorry, I'm I'm not used to promoting all the other shit, so I remind myself I should follow my Instagram. And I don't think I even have Palermo was here. Palermo. Well. If it isn't Palermo, how are you doing today? I don't even have command for the social stuff. Oh my god, I'm so lame. I don't know. My online moniker is the same everywhere you go. Corgi-san with 2 A's, okay? We'll never get Corgi-san with 1 A because someone has it and they won't give it to me. All right, guys, bye. I think a bubble.